Okay, so this video is going to help social media managers that manage a large amount of clients with a large amount of content needs, and you want to get as much content as possible from one-off sources, one-off news sources, one-off blogs. Now, what a one-off source is something that is not an industry website or an industry hub. So for example, if you run a salon's social media and one of their products is the brand Schwarzkopf, well, everything produced by the website Schwarzkopf would in fact be usable on the brand's social media. So that's an industry source. That's not a one-off source. The one-off source would be the local newspaper that produces an article based on Schwarzkopf, but has no intention of making a recurring feature on this. And so you don't know if they're going to produce another one, or there's no plans on it, or it's very unlikely. So we'll call those one-off sources. A blogger can write a quick article about Schwarzkopf product and an experience that they had at a salon as an example. You still want to grab that content, but you don't need to use that source as a recurrent source. If it's a recurrent source, like in this example, the Schwarzkopf website, you'd add that Schwarzkopf website's RSS feed to an RSS reader, and then everything that they produce, you'll be able to see in your RSS reader. But I would never want to add a local newspaper RSS feed to that RSS reader, because they're going to produce a lot of content that has nothing to do with the topic, obviously. Now, what happens if you're managing a large number of clients? If you're managing 50 or 100 clients, well, gosh, if you added all those RSS feeds to RSS readers, I'm sure you can appreciate you're going to be spending a lot of time going through a lot of unnecessary articles for that client. So the purpose of this is to show you how to manage one-off articles, because it takes too much time to do this without a proper system. So the typical way that people do this is that they will go and search every single day on the internet for an article that's been produced or a piece of news that's hit the internet. The thing we have to appreciate is that all content for social media does not need to be breaking news. If someone wrote a fantastic article for Schwarzkopf a month ago or 6 months ago or a year ago, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad content if it's from a year ago. So therefore, it's still valuable content. We still want to grab that article, and we just need a way to manage it, to grab it fast, and to make sure that we're managing the content as best as possible. Now, searching daily for content takes way too much time. It's not scalable. So if you've run into the same problem that I've run into, where you or your staff are searching every single day for content, well, you'll quickly figure out that that's not an effective use of time. So now for myself, I've tried working with a number of different news sources to gather relevant articles and create these complex systems of different news sources that feed into different RSS feeders, and the RSS feeder will only produce an article if it's based on certain keywords, and it can get extremely complex. But let me make sure that I stress one thing, that the internet, websites, systems, they're all dynamic. So they're always changing. So they'll always break down. So learn from my mistakes. And after 4 years of doing this, trying different systems and different methods to try to gather as much content and make it as best as possible, this one that I'm about to show you has consistently been the easiest and produced the best quality results with the least amount of time invested. Now, it's not perfect. Like any system's not perfect, but to rely on a great aggregator like Google News and just make a system around that is frankly just the easiest time saver that you can possibly think about. So this video is going to show you how to sort news by time parameters, so you can only pull up news in the last 6 months or month or week or a year. It's also going to show you how to use Google search operators to filter out repeating sites. You'll see what I mean in the video. But what ends up happening sometimes is that if a site produces a lot of articles, they will hit Google News as news. But if that site is already an authority on the topic, you don't need to have that site's results showing up in Google News. You want to filter those results out so you can instead focus on those one-off articles I was mentioning. So you'd want to grab the site's RSS, throw that into an RSS reader, and then instead use this technique to grab those one-off articles. So we'll show you how to use the search operators to remove any industry sites producing content so you get better results. We'll also show you how to gather the headlines and the links easily by scraping the results from Google, and we'll show you how to clean the results in Excel by filtering and removing the obviously bad content before entering in the task list. This whole process will end up getting you a few hundred articles in a matter of about maybe 15 minutes. So it can be sufficient for content for any of your brands for a good 3 weeks to 3 months. It depends on how much work you're doing for your clients. So what I'll be showing you is how to use Google News, how to scrape it, how to filter the data, and how to put it in a task list for further curation from either you or one of your team members, and also show you how to filter those results into Google Alerts and then ultimately into your RSS reader. I typically would recommend Feedly, but you can use whichever one you like. So the resources that you'll need are Scraper extension, Google Sheets, Google News, your daily task list, and Feedly. Okay, so I'm in Google News right now, and I got there by typing in the word life hacking and selecting news as one of the options. The other way of doing that, of course, is just by typing news.google.com or whatever your country extension is, and then searching from here your keyword. So I'll use life hacking as my keyword. My Google settings are based on 100 results per search, per page, I should say. So I've got a possible 200 results here, 200 different articles. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that I can see that a lot of these articles are actually from the same source here. Now, if I can just simply go to the website of, in this case here, Lifehacker, and I can grab the RSS feed from Lifehacker and put that into an RSS reader, Feedly in my case, so I can do that. And then I would have all these exact same articles. So as I scroll through these results here, I can see that almost all of them are from Lifehacker itself. So Lifehacker India, and I can see based on the bottom left-hand corner here, as I mouse over this is Lifehacker UK, Lifehacker co.in, so India. You can see where it's the source here, but I can see the exact URL it is down there. So what I'm going to actually do is to pull up different results, because if all those results are coming from one website, well, I can grab the RSS feed for that website, and that defeats the purpose of Google News, actually. So if Lifehacker is doing a great job and pumping out lots of articles, good for them, but I want to find sporadic news sources. I want to find news sources that I wouldn't normally find by going to the direct source Lifehacker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Google search operatives here. So I'm going to say -site lifehacker.com. Now, if you need information on how to use Google Site Operators, you can search that out on the internet yourself. But I'm basically telling it to search life hacking, the phrase, not in this site and not in this site, lifehacker.com.au. And let's get rid of India as well. And .in. And what is the country code? Yeah, and then UK, or co.uk. Okay, so now let's see the results here. Okay, so I've got Forbes, Pacific Standard, Salon, Tech in Asia, perfect. Tech Cocktail, Big Think. This is the exact results I want. Now, life hacking is one example. You don't see that very normally, where you see it, all the results pop up from one source, but they've been doing a great job, obviously, Lifehacker, I mean, of producing a lot of content, so that's good for them. However, again, I can just pull their RSS feed into their RSS reader, so I don't need Google News for that, though. So I have now found a number of different articles here that I want to get into my pipeline. So I've got 8,000 results, and these news results have pulled up results, as you can see here, from April 22nd, 2014, June 26, 2014, recent ones too, February 11th, 2015. So I'm just curious, to keep this more relevant, what I typically like to do for clients is I'll typically like to pull up the news for, let's just see in the past 24 hours, nothing. Let's see the past month. How many articles do we have? Not very many. Let's go the past year. Okay. Okay. So we'll say the past year. So this seems to give me a lot more articles. Now, one of the things too is that I will not be using every single article in here, so I want to taper it down from a good from a good quantity in a bucket, in a content bucket. I'll be narrowing that down. So from 100, maybe we'll end up using 20 or 30 of these articles. So this seems to be a good little search. So I will use the past year. If your search pulls up a lot more, then you may want to do the past month, past week. So what I'm going to do now that I've got my results here, I'm going to right click. I'm going to use the extension, which is the scraper extension. So this is the one here. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go scrape similar. And what this is going to do, this is going to grab all the articles that are listed right here, put them in a nice organized manner. export that to Google Docs. I'm going to go to the second, third, and fourth pages. And so here are the results from that first scrape. Already put into Google Docs here. So this here would be the headline, and this would be the exact link. Okay, scrape this one, and this one. All right. Now I've got here a number of different articles that are going to be in each of these different spreadsheets. And so I'll just show you quickly how to organize that and how to put that into your daily task list. While I've got this open here, I want to have a continual search. So I can come back here every Monday, let's say, and come back here to search for the client new articles that have popped up. Rather than doing that, now that I know I like this search here, I'm going to create a Google alert out of this. So I'm just going to go create alert. That's based on those parameters that I already gave. This here is an example of the preview of what it would look like coming into an RSS feeder. And then I'm going to say create alert. I'm going to change that to RSS feed, update alert. Okay. And then here would be the RSS feed. There would probably be nothing inside there, which is not. That's fine. Okay. So anything that pops up now into the search phrase of life hacking, not in these sites here, just exactly based off the search functionality that I just did, will now get put into my Feedly account. And so I will grab this feed right here. I will go now into Feedly. I will add it to the top, paste it inside there. And here is the Google alert. I'm actually going to put it in the Google Alerts section as well. Okay. So now that Google Alerts RSS feed is going to show up under Google Alerts. That's one way of organizing it. And then of course under life hacking as well. So any articles that get published inside this would show up right here. Okay, so now how do we organize all of these here? So let's make this as simple as possible. So I'm going to go to my trusty notepad. I'm going to copy everything inside there into here. I'm going to open up Excel at the same time. Again, copy everything in the second page into the notepad. Into the third page, into notepad. And of course the fourth page. All right. Now I'm just going to label these delete, so it gets out of my Google Drive folder. I label these delete, of course, so that I don't get confused. This tells me I've obviously already dealt with the content inside there, so if I run across this article or this spreadsheet in my Google Drive folder, I will know I've already consumed what I need to out of this. Okay, so there's Excel. So now I'm going to copy everything of this into Excel. Do a couple of quick filters. So paste it. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to sort this by URL. It's going to group all of the different results next to each other. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for where the results are showing up, and I'm just going to do a quick Excel sheet clean. So I can see here ABC News is sticking out. These life hacking ones are sticking out as well. I'm just trying to get rid of the Google tech stuff like this. I don't want to get rid of that article. rid of these, I can't read that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing, while I'm trying to sort everything out, I'm just quickly cleaning up any obvious links that I know I'm not going to want. Since I cannot read that language, I will take them out. Okay. And I'm looking for scripts and scrape. Scripts that have snuck in because of the scrape. So generic Google ones like that, I don't need. Okay. Okay, it seems to be them all. Excellent. So now I'm going to do a filter, I'll do a sort by the headlines there. Get rid of those blank URLs. Let's just do a quick double check to make sure that the link is in fact relevant to that title. So to Oceanside founder. Yep, that one's good. Do a spot check on another one. BBC, Life and Death with Purpose. Yep, okay, so it looks like that filter worked fine. Let's sort. And we'll clean up this. Get rid of the Chinese ones. And the German one. Okay, so I have here a number of different articles that we can see, all from different times. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this into a little bucket. So I'll put this into a content curation bucket for my staff to go through. So I'm going to randomize this up. As you can see, these are all in alphabetical order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the A, and then alphabetically, of course, I'm going to say random between 1 and 10,000. I'm just going to copy this down to the bottom. It's going to select some random numbers. And then I'm going to copy, paste values to get rid of the formula. And I'm going to sort this all based on these random numbers from smallest to largest, expand it. So now it's all put everything into a random order there. Because I would rather it be random since I'm not using these in any particular order. And I don't want articles to go out in any kind of alphabetical robotic order. Okay. So I'm just cleaning up any ones that are obvious that I don't want. Other languages specifically. So now what I'm doing is I'm searching out seems to be a few German ones in here. So I'm going to do a control F.de to find any .de extensions, and I can see here all the results. So not that one, but all of these are all German, which I can't use. So, okay, I'm just going to kill all of these then. So this one here, delete. I'm just going and deleting them all. Okay. Alright, so this one we'll get rid of. That one we'll get rid of. This one we'll get rid of. Okay, let's do a quick spot check. See which one slid through. Okay, so .de I don't like, and then which are the ones that I see I didn't like? Do I see any other languages in here? This one snuck in. Finish. .fi. Okay, get rid of that one. So a little bit of time doing this will save us significant time later on. What I'm trying to avoid here is I'm trying to avoid people having to click a link, go to a web page, let it load up, and then determine that they can't read it, which is obviously a waste of time when I can do all of that right now, a lot quicker, obviously. So even though this is taking a few minutes here, it saves my staff time later. And since we're going through a number of different articles, I mean, we have what right now? We have 400 possible articles here, and if they're having to click on articles, it takes 5 seconds to load up, and then and then they have to determine that they can't read it to share it. Well, those 5 seconds, let's say over, say 50 articles, that all adds up. I mean, that's a huge waste of time. That's 250 seconds there, which is 4 minutes of complete waste of just load time. So we want to remove as much of that stuff as possible. So, what else can I do fast here? Okay, that seems to all be now in English. Jakarta, it's still a .com. So I'm not interested in previewing all of this. This is not worth my time specifically, but I do want to get rid of the ones that I can get rid of fast and obviously. .nl, how many of these are there? Okay. Okay, that's good enough. So now I'm going to, since I killed the links, I'm going to sort this whole thing based on the links again. And then I'm going to have a number of different ones here that don't have links. These are all the foreign ones. Okay, get rid of that. And then now I'm going to sort again based off the random number here. Smallest to largest, just to randomize the titles here. Okay. So now I'm going to copy all of these into a content task list, content curation task list. So here in the daily task list, I've got the title, the source, the URL, etc. So I'm just going to make sure that these are in the right order. So the title, the URL, the number is irrelevant. Okay. So I'm going to paste these in here. All right, so now I'm going to grab these links, put them over into the URL where they should be. Okay, so now they are in the checklist here, and now these can be reviewed by the staff. So whenever we have got time, their job is to go through this now and to look through these different articles quickly to see what fits into the client's content and what doesn't fit in here. So now we have it nice and fast for them. So they have a number of different articles that'll fit within inside the word life hacking for the client. So that's nice and easy. And then I also have here life hacks. I have the Google Alerts section set up. So going forward, any articles that have the word life hacking inside of it will be put inside of here. Now, some of the most common mistakes in gathering one-off content sources and one-off articles is not having a process, or you do it too often or you do it too little. You should probably, in my recommendation, do this once a month for your client. And remember to stick with the process. It's the process that makes you efficient. If you want to run more than 5 clients, you need a process. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning your wheels and using the same information over and over again and wasting yours, your staff's time, and ultimately your client's money, and ultimately your profitability. So stick with the process. Don't do this too often or too little. You can of course customize this to your own liking. My recommendation in the beginning is to task yourself with a recurring task for your client to do this once a month. All right, now the first thing to do is to try this yourself. and implement this immediately for your client, and then set yourself a recurring task once a month. Make sure to put the results after you filter them into your content curation bucket. In this case, I'd recommend using Google Sheets and a task list that you've created for the client, and make sure you do this on a repeating basis.